Good evening and welcome to the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate Oman Television. First, the headlines. Various sectors of the Sultanate of Oman harness their efforts to deal with the tropical conditions, impacts and heavy rain continue falling on several wilayas of the Dhofar Governorate. World Meteorological Organization praises the Sultanate of Oman's experience in dealing with tropical conditions. And Muscat Stock Exchange witnesses active trading as the shares of OQ Gas Network are listed. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. The basic services sector is currently working to restore some services in some of the wilayas of the Dhofar Governorate that have been affected by the tropical condition Taj. Engineer Abdullah bin Barak Al-Hashmi, coordinator of the basic services of the National Committee for Emergency Management, told Oman News Agency that the field teams have been working to restore some of the affected services, including opening of the Hadbin Hasik Road in the wilaya of Sadah, which is now crossable. He stated that the destination plants stopped functioning due to the heavy rainfall, and the work is currently underway to restart the Malhut destination plant, while the Rayhut destination plant has been restored. The sector coordinator indicated that the electrical power had been restored to the most of the wilayas of the Dhofar Governorate, reporting that the communications network was operating normally, and that 11 communication stations that were affected by the tropical condition were currently being dealt with. As the cyclone Taj downgraded into the tropical storm, heavy rains continue on the wilayas of Dalhut and Rakhyut in the governorate of Dhofar, which caused a number of wadis and tributaries to overflow. The wilayas of Sadah, Al-Mazyuna, Taqa, Shrim and Halinati Islands also witnessed very intensified rainfall. A number of wilayas in the Dhofar Governorate recorded large amounts of rainfall during the past 2 days. It reached 256 millimeters in the wilaya of Rakhyut and 240 millimeters in the wilaya of Dalhut, in addition to the wilaya of Salalah recording 88 millimeters of rain, and wilaya of Sadah recorded 19 millimeters of rain. The Ministry of Education announced the continuation of suspending studies in the public and private schools in the wilaya of Dalhut and Rakhyut, and the following schools in the wilaya of Al-Mazyuna: Al-Ahqaf, Ibn Al-Dhahabi, Harwib, Al-Andat, and the coming Wednesday and Thursday. Study will resume on the other wilayas and the schools tomorrow, Wednesday. At least 4 people were killed as a result of tropical storm Taj that struck Al-Mahra, a governorate in eastern Yemen, and more than 1,000 families were displaced. Large areas of Al-Mahra governorate witnessed heavy rains, torrential rains and strong winds as a result of the tropical storm. The tropical storm also caused the partial collapse of several homes and the sweeping away of large agricultural areas in a number of the governorate's districts. The executive unit of the management of displaced persons camps in the Al-Mahra Governorate announced the number of displaced people as a result of Cyclone Taj reached more than 1,000 families. The works of the 15th meeting of the GCC Meteorological and Climate Standing Committee kicked off in Muscat and will go on for 2 days. Within a joint strategic plan, the meeting called for strengthening cooperation and achieving integration between GCC meteorological facilities in the field of monitoring climate changes and issuing early weather alerts of exceptional weather conditions in order to reduce the impacts. The meeting reviewed the cooperation between the General Secretariat of the Gulf Cooperation Council and the World Meteorological Organization. The meeting also reviewed air quality standards, third-generation satellites, and ways of connecting the weather radar network and the seismic monitoring network between GCC countries. During the event, the World Meteorological Organization praised the Sultan of Oman's experience in dealing with tropical conditions. The Civil Aviation Authority is implementing the Musen strategic program to develop the meteorological and early warning system during the next 3 years through 17 projects, 28 initiatives, and 6 strategic topics. This was confirmed in the statement to the Sultan of Oman Radio and Television by Abdullah bin Rashid Al Khadouri, Director General of Meteorology at the Civil Aviation Authority. The Office of the State Council reviewed the response of the Council of Ministers regarding the 2 studies of the State Council on the system of accreditation and equivalency of students' academic certificates for those studying abroad, and also reviewed governorate's water resources in the Sultanate of Oman. The office also discussed the controls of the procedures of the first procedural session of the first round of the 8th term, the agenda of the first procedural session of the first round of the 8th term, and the formation of the permanent committees of the Council. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Khalili, Chairman of the State Council. Muscat Stock Exchange celebrated the listing of 49% of the shares of OQ Gas Networks Company for trading. The celebration was held under the patronage of His Excellency Engineer Salim bin Nasser Al Aufi, Minister of Energy and Minerals. More in the following report.
Muscat Stock Exchange celebrated the listing of 49% of the shares of OQ Gas Networks Company for trading at the price of 140 paisas per share. This comes within the government's plan to expand the investment base in order to achieve the goals of Oman Vision 2040.
With this IPO today, we witnessed a very national day for us, where we had additional market cap by listing OQ Gas Network. Above 6.7% of value has been added to our market cap, and with the price we have witnessed, I think we have touched 8% of our market cap of the listed companies.
The IPO of OQ Gas Networks Company is one of the largest initial IPOs in the Sultanate of Oman after it raised more than 288 million Omani riyals for individuals and institutions and was able to attract investors at the local, regional, and global levels.
This listing, it's one of the best listing and the biggest listing in the MSX. I think the price, which is started at 59, it is an excellent index that things are moving correctly.
The IPO of OQ Gas Networks Company witnessed a surplus over the offering by about 14 times, with a total of about 4 billion Omani riyals.
The media committee tasked with covering the Shura Council's 10th term elections today held a meeting under the chairmanship of His Excellency Mohammed bin Saeed Al-Blushi and the Secretary of the Ministry of Information. The committee discussed preparations to cover voting day, the 29th of October. It affirmed the readiness of the media center setup to facilitate the mission of Arab and international media delegations invited to cover the elections. The committee added that technical and engineering facilities were also kept ready to operate in full capacity and serve local media agencies at radio and TV studios set aside in the Ministry of Interior. The committee pointed out that all human and material resources needed to cover Elections Day were harnessed to portray the advanced standards of the electoral process, which also benefits from modern technology like artificial intelligence. The media coverage will keep pace with preliminary indicators of voting that will be announced in the governorates of the Sultanate of Oman. His Excellency Mohammed bin Saeed Al-Blushi and the Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Chairman of the committee said that all cadres and material capabilities have been harnessed to cover the designated voting day next Sunday, October 29th, as a level of befitting the remarkable technical developments. The electoral process has reached voting mechanisms and the use of AI technology. The Sultan of Oman, represented by the Environment Authority, hosted the work of the Arab Environment Forum in its second session, titled Together to Confront Climate Challenges to Achieve Water and Food Security. It discussed several topics, including climate change and its impact on food security and water resources, and how to address the triple planetary crisis and enhance water and food security. The opening of the forum was held under the auspices by His Highness Dr. Fahd bin Al-Junaid Al Said, Vice Chancellor of Sultan Qaboos University. Rear Admiral Ali bin Abdullah Shidi, Commander of the National Defense College at the Academy of Strategic and Defense Studies at Beit al-Falaj Camp, received His Excellency Paul Hughes, Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Netherlands. During the meeting, the two sides discussed a number of matters with mutual concern. From his side, His Excellency the guest gave a lecture on his historical relations between the Sultan of Oman and the Kingdom of Netherlands, in which he dealt on joint cooperation and maritime security at the Sea of Oman and the Indian Ocean, in addition to discussing the regional and international variables. Royal Air Force of Oman celebrated the graduation of the next batch of recruits at the military parade ground at Ghala Baz and Sultan Qaboos Academy. The celebration included a military parade with slow march for the graduates, accompanied by military music of the Royal Air Force of Oman Band. Major General Hamid bin Ahmed Sakroon, head of the Academy for Strategic and Defense Studies, handed over appreciation awards to the toppers. Acting in cooperation with the Ministry of Labour, Huawei company celebrated today the launch of Huawei ICT Competition 2023. This year's edition slogan is Connection, Glory and the Future. It targets more than 1,000 students from the public and private universities and colleges in the Sultanate of Oman. The program of this year's training courses and competitions focuses on modern technologies like artificial intelligence, cloud computing, data storage, big data, security and wireless local network, and enhancing communication among talented youth in the region. The inaugural ceremony was held under the auspices of His Highness Sayyid Fahr bin Fatih Al Said. Oman Vision 2040 Implementation Follow-up Unit held a meeting with the presidents and deans of private higher education institutions in the Sultanate of Oman. The meeting came within the framework achieving the goals of Oman Vision 2040. The meeting focused on prioritizing education, research and national capabilities, and discussed educational objectives, KPIs and efforts. Private higher education institutions are considered essential partners in achieving the goals of Oman Vision 2040 and major enabler of all priorities of the vision. Omran Group signed a memorandum of understanding with Global Travel and Tourism Partnership, GTTP. More details in the following report.
In a strategic move to nurture national talents and elevate the Sultanate of Oman's tourism industry, Oman Tourism Development Company Omran Group has partnered with the Global Travel and Tourism Partnership (GTTP) through a signed memorandum of understanding. This partnership will initiate the launch of extracurricular programs and activities specifically designed for the 10th and 11th grade students as a part of the group's I Am Tourism strategy. The MOU ceremony was attended by officials including members of the Ministry of Education and Omran Group.
We are here extremely excited, as you can hear, because we just signed a partnership agreement with Oman through the Omran Group, and it's exciting because it's the first of its kind. We work with education, we work with the private sector, we work with government, but not like we are going to do with Oman.
Through this agreement, GTTP will offer an extensive curriculum of educational content in the field of travel and tourism through its e-learning platform, spanning over the period of 3 years. The pilot phase is set to benefit over 100 students from select schools across the Sultanate of Oman. Furthermore, a team of career guidance experts will receive training on leveraging the platform to provide an immersive and fruitful learning journey for aspiring tourism professionals. It's noteworthy to mention that this collaboration is a testament of Umran's Group IAM tourism strategy, which is founded on 4 pivotal pillars: inform, attract, retain, and partner. The initiative aims to develop national talents and subsequently contribute to the growth and competitiveness of Oman's tourism sector.
You're watching the Sounds of Oman television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The various sectors of the Sounds of Oman harness their efforts to deal with the tropical conditions impacts, and heavy rain continue falling on several wilayas of the Dhofar governorates. World Meteorological Organization praises the Sounds of Oman's experience in dealing with tropical conditions. And Muscat Stock Exchange witnesses active trading as the shares of OQ gas networks are listed. And that's the end of the news from all of us here in the newsroom and studios. Thanks for watching. Good night.